Europe could be facing its coldest winter in decades. Imagine ships trapped in ice, coastlines blanketed in white, and the Baltic Sea freezing over. This isn't science fiction. Meteorologists are warning that the winter of 2025-2026 could be historic. A rare alignment of global weather patterns is setting the stage for a severe, prolonged cold snap. Frigid air from Siberia may sweep across the continent, plunging temperatures far below average for weeks. The so-called beast from the east could return, bringing the kind of cold that freezes rivers and strains energy systems. After years of mild winters, the atmospheric gears are shifting. Changes in the stratosphere, Pacific Ocean temperatures, and polar winds are all pointing to a major event. The Baltic Sea may freeze more extensively than it has in decades, a dramatic sign of the cold's intensity. This video will break down what's happening, why, and what it could mean for everyone in Europe. Get ready for a winter that could rewrite the record books. Europe's winter is shaped by weather thousands of miles away, in ways that might surprise you. The continent's cold snaps and snowstorms are often triggered by atmospheric changes that begin far beyond its borders. La Niña in the Pacific cools ocean waters, shifting air currents and helping high-pressure blocks form over the North Atlantic. These changes ripple across the globe, influencing the jet stream and setting the stage for Europe's winter weather. These high-pressure blocks act like a traffic cop, stopping mild Atlantic air from reaching Europe and letting Siberian cold pour in. When this happens, frigid air masses sweep across the continent, bringing icy winds and heavy snowfall. The quasi-biennial oscillation, or QBO, is another key player. This winter, it's in a strong easterly phase, which weakens the polar vortex and lets Arctic air escape south. This rare alignment can unleash some of the coldest air Europe experiences. Add in the Atlantic multidecadal oscillation and a negative North Atlantic oscillation, and you have a setup that encourages cold, snowy weather. These cycles work together, amplifying each other's effects and making extreme winter conditions more likely. Right now, all these signals are aligning: weak La Niña, strong easterly QBO, and a developing high-pressure block. Meteorologists are seeing a rare combination that could tip the balance toward a harsher winter. It's a rare convergence. None guarantee a deep freeze alone, but together, they dramatically raise the odds. When these patterns overlap, Europe's weather can shift quickly from mild to extreme. Meteorologists are watching closely as these global patterns point to a severe winter for Europe. They're analyzing data, running models, and preparing for the possibility of record-breaking cold. The stage is set for a powerful cold snap, with the potential to disrupt travel, energy supplies, and daily life across the continent. Europe could be in for a winter unlike any in recent memory, one shaped by distant forces, but felt in every icy gust and snow-covered street. To understand what's coming, look to the past. History is full of clues, and Europe's winters have delivered some of the most dramatic weather events on record. The winter of 1962-63, the legendary Big Freeze, saw rivers and even parts of the sea frozen solid, villages completely cut off from the outside world, and snow on the ground for over 2 months straight. People struggled to keep warm, and daily life ground to a halt as the continent shivered under a relentless icy grip. In 2009-10, a similar atmospheric setup brought the UK's coldest winter in 30 years, with chaos on roads, schools closed, and energy demand soaring as families tried to stay warm. The beast from the east in 2018, triggered by a rare sudden stratospheric warming, sent frigid Siberian air surging across Europe, disrupting travel and daily routines. It brought rare, almost magical snow to cities like Rome, where locals marveled at sights not seen in decades. These winters share key ingredients: powerful forces in the atmosphere that can combine to unleash extreme cold, a negative North Atlantic oscillation, a strong easterly QBO, and other shifting patterns set the stage, while a weakened polar vortex allows Arctic air to spill southward, blanketing Europe in snow and ice. Meteorologists call these analog years, case studies for what might happen when the same rare patterns align again. The echoes of these great freezes are a warning. Europe remains vulnerable to severe cold, even in our modern, well-connected era. This winter's atmospheric setup closely matches those legendary years, raising the stakes for what could unfold. By studying the past, we get a glimpse of what could be in store, reminders that nature's power can still surprise us. The lessons are clear. When the right patterns align, Europe can freeze. and history may repeat itself in unexpected ways. The Baltic Sea, bordered by Sweden, Finland, Poland, and Germany, is especially vulnerable to freezing and extreme cold. Its unique geography and relatively shallow waters make it more susceptible than many other European seas. In a typical winter, only the far north ices over, but in a true deep freeze, ice can stretch much farther south, disrupting shipping and isolating communities. The transformation is sudden and dramatic, as open water becomes a solid, icy expanse. Icebreakers work overtime to keep trade moving, but a major freeze-up would be a huge logistical and economic challenge. Ports can become inaccessible, and vital goods may be delayed for weeks. When the Baltic freezes, it also changes the weather. The ice acts as a lid, keeping the air above even colder and drier, and reflecting sunlight back into space. This effect can influence weather patterns far beyond the sea itself. This feedback loop locks in the cold, making the freeze even more intense and persistent. The longer the ice remains, the more severe the winter becomes for the entire region. The last near-total freeze was in 1986-87. Before that, 1941-42 set the record. These winters are legendary, remembered for their severity and the way they shaped daily life. If the Baltic freezes again, it's a clear sign that the beast from the east has taken over. Such a freeze would be a powerful reminder of nature's ability to transform the familiar into something extraordinary. It's not just a weather event, it's a transformation of the landscape and climate. The world as people know it is temporarily reshaped, with new challenges and unexpected beauty. A frozen Baltic would be a dramatic, visible symbol of a historic winter. It would capture the imagination of millions, drawing attention from across Europe and beyond. Europe hasn't seen anything like it in decades. Such an event would be remembered for generations, a rare and wondrous chapter in the continent's history. The polar vortex is a spinning mass of cold air high above the North Pole. When it's strong, it keeps Arctic cold locked up, but when it weakens or breaks down, frigid air escapes south. This breakdown is often triggered by a sudden stratospheric warming, or SSW, where stratospheric temperatures soar by up to 50 degrees Celsius in days. The vortex can split or shift, unleashing Arctic air over Europe and North America. The effects take about 2 weeks to reach the surface, but when they do, they can trigger extreme, long-lasting cold snaps. The beast from the east in 2018 was caused by just such an event. This winter, a strong easterly QBO makes the vortex more unstable and prone to SSWs. Forecast models already hint at a weaker-than-average vortex, especially early in the season. If a major SSW hits, it could be the knockout punch that sends Siberian air flooding into Europe. The polar vortex may hold the key to a truly historic freeze. The cold that chills Europe is built in Siberia. Early autumn snow cover in Siberia acts like a giant mirror, reflecting sunlight and allowing the land to cool rapidly. This creates the Siberian high, a dense dome of frigid air, ready to surge west when the patterns align. Years with extensive October snow cover often precede Europe's coldest winters. But this year, Siberian snow is lagging behind recent years, which could limit the intensity of the cold air reservoir. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle. The atmospheric setup is primed for cold, but the source may be less potent than in legendary winters. Still, if the snow cover expands quickly, the risk of a deep freeze rises. Meteorologists are watching Siberia closely. The strength of the Siberian high could decide just how cold Europe gets. What makes this winter so special? It's the rare combination of several powerful signals. A strong easterly QBO, a weak La Niña, and a developing negative North Atlantic oscillation are all aligning. This setup encourages high-pressure blocks, weakens the polar vortex, and opens the door for Siberian air to flood Europe. Long-range models suggest a weaker-than-average vortex, increasing the risk of a sudden stratospheric warming. The only missing piece is the lagging Siberian snow cover, which could limit the ultimate intensity of the cold. Still, the atmospheric setup is primed for a colder-than-average winter, with a significant risk of a major cold spell. It may not reach the extremes of 1962-63 unless the snow cover rapidly expands. The forecast is fascinating, and Europe should be ready for surprises. This winter's unique mix could deliver a season to remember. If the severe winter scenario unfolds, Daily life across Europe will change dramatically. Expect a persistent drop in temperatures. Daytime highs may stay below freezing for weeks, even in Western Europe. The first cold snap may be dry and sunny, but as Siberian air meets Atlantic moisture, heavy snow could blanket eastern and northern regions. Travel disruptions, school closures, and higher energy bills are likely as people struggle to stay warm. Power grids could be strained, and frozen pipes may become a common problem. Outdoor activities will require extra caution, and communities may need to pull together to help the vulnerable. The landscape will transform frozen rivers, deep snow, and icicles everywhere. While challenging, such winters can also bring beauty and a sense of community spirit. Preparation and respect for the weather will be key. Europe could be in for a winter that tests resilience and brings people together. Preparation is everything when facing a severe winter. Insulate your home, lag water pipes, and service your heating system before the cold arrives. Assemble emergency kits for home and car blankets, warm clothes, food, water, torches, and a battery-powered radio. For your car, add a shovel, ice scraper, and jump cables. Dress in layers, eat hot meals, and check on elderly or vulnerable neighbors. Stay informed with weather updates and be ready to adapt your plans. Avoid unnecessary travel during severe weather and have a backup plan. Simple steps can prevent emergencies and keep you safe and warm. With preparation, you can face even a historic winter with confidence. Sometimes the coldest seasons bring out the best in us.